Did you know that millennials are making less money than any other generation? Welcome back, folks. Our great friend of the show, Bryan, is here with some interesting tips on how they can potentially turn that trend around. Hey, girl.
Hey, good to be here.
You know, we were off camera a second ago, and I said, so clear this up for me. Tell me who millennials are to begin with, because I'm not real clear on that.
And the biggest part of this is that millennials are in their early 30s now, the oldest of the millennials. So they were born in the early 1980s.
Okay.
And because they're in their 30s now, it's more important to really look at how are they doing financially.
Yeah.
And we kind of take them for granted. But they are struggling in the areas of when you adjust their income versus your income at that age, they're not making as much as you were making in your early 30s. And you're going to say, no, that's not true.
No, that's not true. That's not true for me.
On average.
Personally, I wasn't making any money in my early
30s. On average, they when you adjust it, they are not doing as well as they need to. Okay. And surprisingly, around 35 is when you're at your peak income. Around 35.
For most people.
For most people, their income grows the most between 25 and 35. So if you're a millennial and you started working around 2008, and we've had some financial challenges there, and the entire hiring community has changed.
Yeah.
They're not getting the jobs that like the financial industry, for example, is not hiring as many people as they used to.
They started their careers at the worst possible time in 2008 for a lot of them.
Yes.
And then, of course, there weren't a lot of, you were just happy to get a job.
Yes.
So they didn't really come out blockbuster out of the gate.
Yes, and that's the scariest part, that too many of them were too happy to just get a job.
Right.
And there are a surprising number of college graduates who are working in minimum wage jobs. So that presents, a challenge for them when they have debts to pay back. So their disposable income for that area is really challenged as well.
And then you said they were hitting that plateau, that 32 to 35-year-old plateau where you hit your peak.
Yes.
But theirs is lower. So how do they bump that up?
Thank you for asking.
Oh, okay.
That's right. So a good suggestion, I saw this in Fortune magazine, and I really buy into this, that you have to make sure that when you accept that first job, you don't settle. Too often, you're accepting a wage that's far lower than you should, and they're saying that because their debts are so high, they're kind of grabbing it, like you said.
Yeah.
But when you look at the numbers, if you accept a $55,000 job versus a $50,000 job, that $55,000 that $5,000 difference could turn into more than $500,000 over your career. So that small difference means that you need to negotiate, and you need to understand what are people with your experience, with your education in that position making. So there's actually a website out there for millennials to look at. One is like glassdoor.com, where you can put in the job that you're looking at, your experience, your situation, what you should be asking, what you should be expecting.
Let's stretch our imagination really far.
Okay.
And pretend I'm 30 again.
Yes,
Okay.
and you look 30.
Ignore the white beard.
You're not?
Ignore the white beard. I'm 30. Somebody offered me a really nice job. I've got my college loan to pay back.
Yes.
The economy's been terrible, and I do settle. So why shouldn't I settle? Because it's a good job,
Yes.
JB. I need that job.
Yes, but you just cannot afford to. But nobody really tells us that. I've never seen a discussion like we're having on television to tell people that you cannot afford to settle. But you can't when you really look at the numbers. So if you are in a position where you have done that and you've accepted that job, now you have to strategically start negotiating, how can I increase my salary? Because once you accept it, it's very hard. So it may mean
once
you have
you're in there, you're in there. All right. How do you've got freelancing down here and contracting. What's another way?
Well, millennials actually are hardworking people. Contrary to the stereotype, they work a lot, and they are willing to take on second jobs in order to increase their income. They consider contracting. Everybody doesn't have the risk tolerance of having their own business. started in my 20s. I started my business, but that's because I'm willing to take that chance. Everyone's not willing to take that chance, but that is the truest way to not worry about getting a raise. You work harder, you make more income. That's entrepreneurship at its finest. But for millennials, if they have the job, they may have to take on a second job or turn their hobby into income for them.
All right, so they've got a long ways to go, but if they listen to somebody like JB, they may get there.
Yes, I mean, and it's very possible. Contrary to a lot of the information they'll see, don't buy into the sad story. Take steps now, learn to negotiate, and get in there and get what you deserve.
Thanks, Aunt JB. Thanks.
You're 30.
I'm 30, that's right, you're not my aunt. JB offers free money seminars every Wednesday at noon and Saturday mornings at 10 at her office in Glen Allen. Pre-registration is required. Just visit us online, WTVR.com/VTM for a link for more information.